Howdy, with this video, I want to go over the assignments that are coming due next week. I'm doing this video on Friday, October 2nd. So for tomorrow, reflection number 2 is due based on the parable of the talents. Kind of an interesting question. What sets you apart from the crowd? That's where we're going to kind of get into with this. Say, what kind of talents do you have that you're going to develop, through your education, through your career and things like that? And, are you matching your career to your talents? If you ever seen somebody who's just miserable in their job, quite often they didn't match their chosen career to their whatever talents they have. But that's what reflection number 2 is going to get into. Then for next week, we're going to set up a LinkedIn page. That's kind of like Facebook for professional people. And you're going to make me a contact, and you're also going to post a resume and an introduction paragraph. Talk about that here in a second. Then on Saturday, once you go to a college website, find a scholarship application and apply for that scholarship. Most of the prompts are pretty open, discuss a non-family member who's a hero, or discuss an important event in your life, or things like that, or why do you want the scholarship. Then the idea is to figure out how you're going to narrow that down to a short, effective, memorable scholarship letter. Then the week after that, we'll work on an academic plan. You'll have to go to the college website, look up your degree, and list the courses as you're going to take them in the order you're going to take them. Not everybody goes to college full time. And some people start in the spring semester. Some people already have dual enrollment credit when they get going full time. So it's kind of interesting to get into that and see how many classes you got to take and where that's going to take you. Then once we do that, we'll get started on the career essay. And all this is on the career essay assignment, which I posted there in Schoology. But for the first part, we're kind of looking at these LinkedIn postings. And with LinkedIn, you're going to post an image. This can be of yourself in a fairly professional setting. Shouldn't be you at the park having a good time. That doesn't tell anybody about you being a doctor or a mechanic or whatever. But a photo of you in a fairly professional attire, looking like you're ready to accept college application, college acceptance letters and college scholarship letters, things like that. Kind of depends what you want to do. Maybe if you're not all that keen on going to college, or you're just going to go for a 2 year degree or a certificate, maybe do an image based on whatever that is. And of course, kind of note, I don't want you to do anything that you're horribly uncomfortable with. If you don't want a picture of yourself online, just use an image about the career or profession or degree you're thinking about going into. But on this LinkedIn page, you're going to have a 150 to 250 word background summary, probably geared towards a potential college and scholarship application committees and things like that. You're probably not looking to be a CEO of Microsoft or something at this point in your life. And again, you're gearing this towards your particular situation. Like I said, some students just want to go to Northeast State, get a certificate real quick, and get into the workforce. Others want to go to college for 85 years so they can be a pharmacist or a doctor or whatever. Kind of depends on what you want to do. But that's where you're starting to articulate it, and it's also it's fair to say, hey, I'm wavering between 2 or 3 different possibilities right now. If you're 16, 17 years old, you may not know what you want to do for the rest of your life, right? But keep in mind, as we talk about careers and things like that, most of the data shows you're going to have 2 or 3 totally different careers throughout your life. It's not like you're going to major in business and be, that's not good now, major in, say, nursing and be a nurse your entire life, right? You may end up going into administration, other parts of healthcare, where you might have to go back to school and get retrained. That's what I did. My first college degree was a culinary degree from the Culinary Institute of America. And I worked in restaurants for 20 years, so I got kind of tired of it. Went and got my master's in English and totally changed professions about the time I was 40. And that's probably what's going to happen to most of you all. That's just what the data is starting to show. So learning to learn is starting to become a very important skill, not just going to college for 4 years and getting that piece of paper, right? Then you're going to post that scholarship application letter. You're going to turn it into me first, but eventually you're going to post that into LinkedIn. You're also going to have a resume and any other information that makes you look good. If you're into sports, it can be good to put images of you in sports or band or something like that. Because if you're part of a group like that, you know what it means to be that weakest link sometimes and let the team down. And you know how to lead a team maybe, or you have all these different roles within a sports team or within, say, a band or a concert setting. It's a very interesting way to develop leadership skills, or theater is another good example. when employers talk about what kind of employees they want, quite often they're talking about theater majors who who can speak in front of people, who know how to behave in front of people, who know how to work in groups, who aren't thrown off by minor problems, who know how to work collaboratively, things like that. So it's kind of interesting to think about. Something interesting to develop in your LinkedIn page. All right. The first thing that's coming to do is that resume in the introduction paragraph. For the resume, please don't start with a blank screen. There's all kinds of good templates. I'm here in Microsoft Word. So if I just open a new file, you can go search for online templates and resumes. And these are nice because you just want to click on that and you can just fill this in. So you're not starting with a blank screen going like, what do I put? And if you're 16 years old, 17 years old, you may not have a lot of, you don't have 20 years of experience in the industry or something. So you might kind of talk about your objective. It might be, I'm going to pursue this degree from this college and then pursue this kind of career. You may shorten that experience and kind of focus more on key skills here. You might focus more on mission trips or things like that. Whatever is going to be important in your particular career or what would look good to a scholarship committee. Again, that communication is a very important thing. You learn to do that in things like sports and group activities. But like key skills, have people ever trusted you with money? Do they trust you with their kids? Have you been on mission trips? Do you do things for your church or other activities? What kind of things do you do that might be attractive to an employer for that first job, and also look good for a potential scholarship committee? Because quite often they ask for resumes as well. But particularly at 16, 17, probably try to get this to one page. And you want to go through a couple of different templates, see which one you want to work with. But these are nice because you just kind of fill it out and type in whatever you want to say, and you can delete things like that. Like here, you probably haven't had 3 jobs yet, so just delete those and maybe focus more on other things that you can do with more like your abilities as opposed to your experience. Excuse me. If you're in Google Docs, they have the same thing in Google Docs. Oops. When you go to start a new document, they have this template gallery, and mine's popping up with all the resumes because I've been doing this video a couple of times. But you might have to scroll down here. But you can go to these various templates and do the exact same thing you could do in Word. And again, you're just going to put the information that's more appropriate for you. So like something that, a template that focuses on experience may not be the one you want. You want something that focuses more on your abilities, your education, other kinds of things. One other thing, when you do your resume, don't put your address or phone number on it. We're going to post this in LinkedIn, and nobody out there needs to know your address and phone number, right? But when you're thinking about LinkedIn and kind of going like, oh, what's that? Let me take you there if I can. You're just going to go to it's just linkedin.com. That's probably going to open my LinkedIn page. But you just go to linkedin.com here, and you're going to sign up. And it's going to ask you about 1,000 different questions. And you got to kind of think about it. Well, I'm not really in a field right now. I'm 16, 17 years old. Also, if you're underage, it'll give you the option of not putting your last name on there if you want to do that. It's kind of up to you. But eventually, you're going to make me a contact so I can see your page. You can kind of see there's some other students posting stuff in there. But what you're going to end up producing is kind of something like mine here. We're going to have a fairly professional photo. Right there's me in my office with books behind me because I'm an English teacher. Then you're going to have the introduction paragraph. And I'm just telling everybody what I'm doing this year. Again, that's going to be tailored to whatever you're interested in and whatever you're thinking about doing with your life. You can post pictures. There's no reason for me to have my grandson on there. I just use that to show people how to add things. But other pictures on there are kind of important. I took a class to Copenhagen, Denmark, a world literature class. I mean, not by myself, but as part of a program. So definitely going to put pictures of that on there. A faculty member who travels with students, that's a pretty significant thing to be doing in a community college, particularly going to Europe. There's me traveling with the International Education Committee. There's me going somewhere with the drama club. Kind of showing that I like students. I like traveling with them and teaching them stuff. which is what a good faculty member should do. You can go down here. You can see my resume, all my experience, and all my good things that I've done, all my accomplishments. Some of this you have to click on, but that's kind of what you're looking to do. And for Wednesday, you're looking to get the introduction paragraph. I'll input that on the about page and post the resume. And generally, PDF works better for LinkedIn. LinkedIn's very frustrating. Again, when you get registered, you're just going to scream at your computer a few times. That's normal. But try to be patient. But that's what we're looking at. Looking for the next 2 weeks. Again, that reflection is due tomorrow. Then we start setting up the LinkedIn page, create the resume. And again, the resume might seem a little thin right now. Obviously, if you're 16, 17 years old, there's not a lot to put on there. But you want to start thinking about what it's going to look like when you get your first college degree, or what you're going to look like if you're going to apply to nursing school or medical school, and kind of start thinking, how can I fill this out a little bit? And that's kind of what the career essay is going to examine. Can you start doing volunteer work? Is there other training you can undergo other than just getting a college degree? There's a lot of people who just get their college degree and expect to find a job, and people are like, there's 1,000 other people with the same degree. What's special about you? What have you been doing while you're in college other than just sitting in classes to prepare yourself for this career? And if you've done nothing, they're going to pick up on that pretty quickly, and you're not going to have a very good looking resume, right? So that's it's not the idea isn't that you're some super awesome person right now, but hopefully, if you're going to go to college for 4 years, you want to get your job, and you got to figure out what you need to do to make sure that happens. And that's what we're going to focus on in the career when we get to it, career essay when we get to it. Right now, we're doing the shorter writings and posting that in LinkedIn, and we'll see how that goes. If you have any questions about it all, be sure to let me know, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.